Hey everyone, and welcome to another video. So today's video is Minecraft, and we are on the native PS5 version, so it's all upgraded, and I'm still noticing subtle differences and some not so subtle differences in upgrade world, and it is lovely. The one that I noticed, especially in this video, funny enough, was whilst you are on the water and you're poodling around, before it's quite difficult to make out things that are under the water and in the ocean, and it's like, what is that? Is that worth investigating? I can't quite make it out. Now everything is crystal clear. It's excuse me, so sorry. Everything's so clear that you can now see clearly because it's so clear. Oh god. But yeah, so it's now like, oh, that looks really interesting. I'm going to have a look at that. Oh, look, that's down there, and you can see them walking around on the floor and the fish swimming around. So yeah, it's thumbs up for me, a round of applause, and many thanks to the Minecraft creators for finally being able to give PlayStation console players the needed native PS5 upgrade. So yeah, thank you for that. I'm loving it, and I'm sure everybody else is as well who plays on the PS5. So today's video is it's a multitude of things. Well, multitude, that sounds far too grandiose. I'm doing a couple of things on this one. The first one is, as you can see, I'm putting stuff away that I am carrying with me. So I'm just doing my usual tidy up stuff. So off camera, what I did was I wanted to try out a skulk farm for XP so that I can start doing some enchantments and stuff like that. And because when I was doing the ancient city, I'm there getting rid of all this skulk, and it's like such a waste of XP. You know, I'm not using it. At one point, I think I got up to like level 45 or whatever, and it's like, it's such a waste because I know I'm going to get hammered by the warden in a second, so it'll all just go poof. But anyway, so I found a relatively old video online, and I'm am I going to put, no, I'm not going to put a link into the description, and apologies to the creator of that video. It does sound very rude of me, but it isn't, because it didn't work for me. So I don't want to mention the creator, because you know what it's like in this day and age online. You know, even when you're trying to be nice, people will twist and will bend, and they'll be like, oh, you deliberately said this person's, no, you tagged their video because you thought it was crap. It's like, no, it wasn't crap, it was really good, that's why I used it. Yeah, and that's the thing that people seem to like ignore. Yes, it didn't work for me. Alright, that's not to say it didn't work, because I watched the video and it worked. Alright, so the reason I'm mentioning it at all is because the issues I had were very interesting, and I had my Minecraft mentor with me, and admittedly she said she's never done this. She's never tried to do any of the farm type stuff, and she's never used some of the techniques that I did, so she couldn't really understand why. It's like, technically it should have worked, but it wasn't. Okay, and I don't know, I'm too noobish to know why it wasn't working. It was probably something really simple. So excuse me, sorry, I'm gonna have to have a coffee, bear with. Coffee, one of man's greatest inventions. Anyway, so this is where my Skulk Farm ended up. Annoyingly, I should have looked it up before. There were obviously with a Skulk Farm you need to find a spawner, and I found a spawner a lot closer to my home than this, believe it or not. But I thought that I might be able to move the spawner using Silk Touch. No, it just goes poof. No one told me that. So then I had to go off and find another one. But luckily this one is literally just around the corner. But it was like 3 times as deep. So it was really naff. So that is the spawning area, as you can see. So the spawner was there, dug around it underneath, filled the bottom with water so it all flows in, like in my iron farm with the golems and stuff. Yeah, exactly the same principle. Yeah, they spawn, they fall in the water, they get flushed down into a corner pocket, and this is where it gets fun. All right, because obviously you can't use lava to kill them. You need the XP, and the XP just goes fizzle, to schnizzle. So on this one, as you can see, it did work because there's skulk around. I didn't put this skulk up. Just let them dick around together, idiots. So basically, the idea was you have a bubble chute of water behind this glass. As you can see, I'm not going to open that because it will just flood. So behind this glass, and then at the bottom is a block of soul sand. And the idea is the soul sand creates a lift, a chute of bubbles, and it basically shoots anything and everything that's in its path up. That's the idea anyway. That's what they say is meant to happen. So the principle is the skeletons drop, they get washed away into this bottom corner, and then they hit the soul sand and the bubbles. They get shot up to the top of the thing along a little bit, and then drop down on top of a dripstone spike, which is just there on my left, and just in there. And they drop down onto that, and it's happy days. Everything's golden, because they fall on there and get killed, and then the XP goes onto the skulk, and the room fills up with skulk. And it worked. You can see it worked for literally about 5 skeletons, and then it stops. And it stopped. So the skulk stopped bubbling, and that was the main thing. And that, in fact, no, that was the only thing. That was what stopped everything. The skulk did, the soul sand didn't do what it was meant to do, and I don't understand. So I am asking, and this is the reason I'm putting this up, right? What did I do wrong? Has anybody else had this? Has anybody else tried this kind of thing? Or even just using a soul sand block to create a water lift for whatever reason? I've never done any of that, and I might go off and try it again somewhere else just to see what was going wrong, because it's not like I haven't got any of the sand. I've got lots. But so you ended up getting this backlog, the physical backlog. At one point, the entire trench where they get flushed into was full of skeletons, and they were all fighting it, and they were like queuing up. It was like being at Alton Towers at a theme park, where you're all waiting to go into the ride. It was hilarious. But they weren't getting shot up in the bubbles. And in this person's video, they were like, "Oh, just admit it," and they were like, "We're on Java, we're doing this, so obviously it might be a little bit different on Bedrock. It's a hell of a lot different on Bedrock, or on the PS5 version at least, because they basically put kelp onto the block of soul sand to and all the way up to make a solid block of water. I understand that principle, because even the Minecraft mentor said that's what you're supposed to do, and then all you do is you get rid of the kelp and everything's golden. It should work, and the bubbles and all that lot. And that wasn't even working because it wouldn't even let me put kelp onto the block of soul sand. I couldn't do it. It just wasn't happening. So I ended up doing other ways, whatever. So that didn't work. And then when it, like I said, on the rare occasion, a couple of times it did work to begin with, and then it almost straight away just broke. I'm stood there and I'm watching them, the skellies spawn and drop and everything else, and all of a sudden I thought, I'm sorry, but that sounded like a skulk sensor. What the hell? So I went back and I went and investigated that, and yes, right on top of the block of soul sand, for crying out loud, a skulk sensor had appeared. It had grown, right? So obviously that was now blocking the bubble tube in itself, which wasn't helpful. But it had created a bloody sensor. Yeah, I'm like, what is going on? So the Minecraft mentor, yeah, damn her, curse her, she jinxed it, because she said, oh my goodness, if it can do that, what if it can spawn a shrieker? It did. Literally 5 minutes afterwards, I reset everything again, right? And I managed to get some bubbles going, and they started going up for a couple of minutes, and then it all fell over again. And in that short amount of time, there was enough skulk being created. And I went back in to have a look and see why it wasn't working. And yep, right there in the middle of my skulk room was a bloody shrieker. So of course we all know, if there's a shrieker and you set it off, Mr. Warden will appear, because he comes up out of the skulk. Because I needed that in my bloody farm, and I needed that right next to my house. Not. And that's also something that wasn't mentioned in this creator's video while he was showing you how to build this skulk farm. You know, disclaimer, warning, will create potential for wardens to be called in the middle of your farm. So yeah, as soon as I saw the shrieker and I managed to get rid of the shrieker, I'm like, yeah, I'm out. I'm done. I'm not having this. I'm not having this in my back door. In my backyard. That's not happening. So yeah, that's why I deleted it. Well, I didn't delete it. I shut down most of it. Got rid of the skulk creator thing, and walked away. I've left it, because if I really am desperate, I can always go in there and still use the skeleton spawner for XP. So, you know, it's not a complete loss. It was just not brilliant. And it was weird, because that whole thing, part of me is like, I so should have recorded it, because then it would have been on video for me to be able to show you and talk you through what I was doing and why it wasn't working, and say, look, what's going on? Why am I doing this wrong? But I didn't, because part of me was like, yeah, it's probably not going to work, so I'm not going to even bother. And if it doesn't work, then I'm not going to even bother putting it up. But now I'm like, it didn't work, but I wish I had been able to put it up. So this is why I'm doing this kind of talk through. So the short and tall of it was, I tried a skulk farm and it failed miserably. It worked for about 2 minutes each time, and I tried about 4 attempts, and then it would just stop. The soul sand would just stop bubbling, and it would not send people up the tube. Like in it was funny, because when it was working and I was stood there watching them going up through the tube, it was literally like a scene straight out of Willy Wonka. It was fabulous. But the bit that made me go, yeah, that's it, I'm out, I'm done, I'm not having this, was when it started creating bloody shriekers. I'm like, yeah, I'm done. So it's a shame, because there's me going, oh yeah, I could do with having all of this XP and all this skulk to, you know, for doing the XP and stuff like that. And then even my mentor was like, well, try again somewhere else, or do this, do that. And I'm like, to be honest, how often am I actually going to need this XP? Yeah, I suppose I am, but you know, yeah. So I'm definitely not going to try it again. If I just find some more skulk lying around, or I know where it is. Do you know what I mean? There was enough caverns between my mountain lodge and the actual city to keep me topped up with XP for a very long time, and I just create a few silk touch things, stock up on stacks of skulk, and away we go. So anyway, that was that one. Yeah. So that's that little expedition failed miserably, but explained. Yeah. And God blimey, missus. Like I said, please make comments on this. All right. If you need a little bit more explanation, then I'm more than happy to do so. If I can do it in typing, if not, I will do another video. Sorry. But if you are able to follow my random waffling and you understand what I was saying, could you please tell me? The main one was, why didn't the soul sand work? What did I do wrong? Was it too tall a tower, or was there... yeah, because I only used one block of soul sand, but that's what they said to use. And like I said, I've never used this done. I've never tried this. So, and I am going to go off and experiment somewhere, maybe. But yeah, comments please. Let me know, why didn't the soul sand work? Because that was the biggest issue. That was the big, like, that's not happening. And also... has anybody else done the skulk farm and had all of that stuff spawn, as in like the shriekers and the sensors? Do they just spawn randomly in your skulk farm, or on the most important part of the whole thing, e.g. the soul sand, which was really annoying? So yeah, comments. Anyway, on with the next bit. Yes. Have you noticed, whilst I'm waffling you... Yeah, sorry. Wake up, everybody. Hello. Yes, we're still going. Sorry. Yes, I have a block of obsidian. In fact, I have a stack of obsidian. Yes, I'm laying obsidian down. Yes, I'm doing what I said I was never going to do. See what I did there? Yeah, see what I did there? Yeah, see, I can't even get it right, look. You know what I mean? First bit of block and it's, oh, bugger, I've like one short kind of thing. So, and what did I forget? A bloody pickaxe. Dope. Coffee. Yum, yum, yum. Sorry. I'm in coffee mode. Oh, lovely. Makes for a great video, doesn't it? Yes. See, I've always been told I have the perfect face for radio. Okay, so because that one failed, and I was like, right, okay, what else can I do while no one's watching? Because, you know, nobody watches this shit, do they? Please. I thought, sod it, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to go adventuring. I'm literally going to fire one up, see where it puts me, and then run away. Hopefully in one piece, and hopefully not burning to death. But we will see. So yes, I decided to put on my big pants and make a portal. Now I'm still extremely dubious about portals, and I don't like the idea that it's an opening into the well-known area that basically if it moves it wants to kill you. Because to be honest, in my world, this one, the overworld, if it moves it wants to kill you, apart from the dogs, they just want to annoy me. So, you know, and everyone's like, oh, it's you know, the Nether, it is supposed to be harder, it's supposed to be more. Oh my goodness, if it's meant to be harder, what is it going to be like? Just how much harder is it going to be? How much more aggressive can they be? You know what I mean? I can't even step outside my house and go and deal with my little farmstead without getting mobbed and attacked. So what's it going to be like deliberately going into the lion's den? So let's go and find out. But before I do, a few safety measures. Because, you know, elf and safety and all that lot. I have got my high-vis jacket on. My clipboard is to one side somewhere, so it's not far away. So, you know, let's do this. So basically, the idea is a fence to stop things from either wandering in or wandering out, hopefully, he says. The moat is a secondary precaution. Again, not paranoid at all. Me, much. But what I am probably going to do, he says, is I'm going to speed this bit up because this did take a while, so bear with me. Okay, so we've sped it up a lot. I couldn't speed it up any more than this because it would just get blurry, and it was either that and cut a load of stuff out, but I thought, now sod it was just easier just to keep speeding it up. So yeah, basically paranoid as heck, scares the bejeez out of me, so I wanted to make sure that nothing can get in or out, so I put a fence around it. I'm now doing a moat around it as well, for exactly the same reason, and as like a secondary thing. And yeah, so basically just fill it with water, dish. But then obviously I need to be able to get across, so I did put a little drawbridge thing there as well. So, and I'm normally really good with doing water mechanics and stuff, but this one just, I don't know, it took a while for it to all get together. And then there was the annoying bit, which when I look back, I'm thinking, well, maybe you should have left it, because if anything falls in there, it's just going to flood into that one area and not be able to escape. But it was tweaking my OCD, so I had to make sure that everything was level. So, right, okay, so back to it. Stairs, in and out. And, yep, it's all good. Okay, let's do it. Running away, just been yeah, and it makes it worse is the fact that it's actually getting dark now as well. It's like, oh my god. I mean, admittedly, I like I said, when I first ever came onto this game, yes, obviously we've done all of this, but even I made the portal. Did I make the portal or did somebody else do it? Can't remember. But we were messing around, so it was myself and my Minecraft mentor. We, like I said, crikey, a couple of years ago now, must have been when I first did. I think it was when it first came onto the PlayStation. It was like, yeah, come on then, let's have a go. And so I was messing around, and I'd basically be left at home doing all of this, and the Minecraft mentor, split screen or whatever it was, or going like we would she'd go in and she built the portal and off she went, kind of thing. So that's why I got the trophy as well. Plus I think the fact that I got the trophy was because it's the PlayStation 5 thing. So anyway, so we just go into the portal and off she goes, but even then, so I don't even think I did. If I did, it was literally a case of jump in, wibble, shit myself, jump back out again. And that's pretty much what I did here. And it's like, so I don't know if it was a good thing or a bad thing. It was a good thing because it wasn't as hectic. Do you know what I mean? It could have been a lot worse, but then it might not have been, because it could have just dumped me in the middle of a bloody lava field, which I was half expecting. So, but yeah, it's like, oh yay, we're in I mean, I know that this was the basalt area or whatever. The fact that I'm walking along basalt kind of gives it away, and you got these bouncy clacky buggers. So yeah, it was like, okay, fine. I doubt very much there's going to be a lot going on. Joy. So anyway, so we briefly foray in here. We have a look. Let's get rid of this because, no, my luck, I'll get thrown out of the portal that way straight into the lava. That'll probably be me. Anyway, it was like, yeah, this isn't going to work, is it? Decisions. Do I hang around and see if there is actually anything worth grabbing? Because, I've got basalt, I've got netherrack, there's nothing here. And then I saw that glowy stuff up there. I was like, I want that. Then I got the weird orb things that these guys drop. So I was hoping that I'd get a few more of them, but yeah, that didn't happen. He just kept on doing it. And this one, he wouldn't die. Honestly, it's like whack. Die. I know I'm using a crappy gold sword, but I'm also aware of some of the things. You must have a bit of gold on you to stop the piglins from attacking you and all this kind of thing. So, I did come in prepared. I wasn't totally noobish. But it's like, okay, well, let's go down this way a little bit and see if there's anything potentially buried or, anything, I don't know. And I'm like, yeah, this isn't going to happen, because then it opens up and I'm like, ooh, it's opened up. And I was lucky, again, that I didn't basically just dig straight under a lava pit, because that would have been my luck. And then, so yeah, it was like, one more, have a go at these. And yeah, there's really not a lot going on. It's just not happening. So we basically just exit stage left and come home. Now, and they followed me. Yeah, and because they were jumpy ones, obviously the fence line didn't do anything. But again, it's like, point proven, thank you. Everyone's like, no, look at you building a moat around there and a fence and everything else. Jeez, what's the worst that can happen? The worst happened. They followed me through the bloody portal. You know what I'm saying? I mean, at least in Stargate they have the metal shutter that drops down behind them to stop anything else that's coming through from following them out. Oh, no. Because, that's never going to happen in this game, is it? Please. So yeah, that was my first entrance into the Nether, and it was rubbish. It wasn't terrifying, which was a bonus. But yeah, when I came back, what did they do? They followed me and started attacking me. So, point proven, people. Anyway, not to be put off too much. Oh yeah, I like this one. Sorry, just need to stop and revel in my humour. Dad's humour. Yes, never guess what's in here. See what I did there? Did you? See what I did there? I thought it was funny. Anyway, so yeah, I'm just going to speed this lot up as well. Ashley, he says, yeah, first things first, let's turn this one off. And then I'm going to speed things up, and I'm going to go elsewhere, because obviously we need to go further afield for two reasons. Yeah, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. Yeah, so I need to obviously shut all this down, and then, like I said, we need to go further afield. So two reasons for that. One, hopefully to find somewhere other than the basalt fields. So I need to do that thing. And obviously I don't want this shit anywhere near my house. So that was the plan. Now, if you may or may not have watched it, you may or may not have remembered, I did a training session whilst I was doing the drying out of the ancient city, and there was a ruined portal under the ocean, on the floor, on the seabed, not far from where I was doing the ancient city. So I thought, right, okay, I'm going to do a practice run and basically dry out the portal, because you never know, might come in useful. And kind of did. But what I forgot was I'd completely removed the portal. But that's fine, because I've got more than enough obsidian with me. So that's what I thought, that's got to be far enough away with the whole 8 times divided by 3 times squared thing. So I thought I'll just go there and try it, because even if, hopefully it will put me somewhere different. And, that was my train of thought. Now, you need to bear in mind, and this is seriously putting me off doing this, right? I know everyone's like, oh, it's really easy, because basically 8 steps in, or 8 blocks in the Nether is equivalent to 800? no, I don't know. Again, there you go. You know what I mean? It's like an 8 to 1 or something. One block, that's it. One block in the Nether is 8 blocks in the overworld. And just that, you know, I have the professionals call it dyscalculia, and it just sounds ridiculous. So somebody that basically did diagnose me, they just called it dyscalculia, and it's because it's dyslexia for numbers. Yeah, so and that makes more sense to me. Anyway, so I struggle massively with numbers. I'll break into a cold sweat if somebody asks me for the exact change. Do you know what I mean? So so this whole numbers thing with the 8s and everything else, I can't do that. I genuinely can't do that. So that alone is putting me off trying to do the whole workings out of where to put this Nether portal. Anyway, while I was quickly doing that, I forgot about this bit. So jumped into the portal after I set it all up, all the way out there, and it turns out that obviously I wasn't far enough away, because it just put me straight back into the original portal, which was annoying. But then when I came back, I do not know why, it didn't put me back through my portal that I had just done in the middle of the ocean. It basically created a new portal and put me by my house. I thought it was weird, because as I'm portaling back and it's all wibbly wibbly, I'm like, why can I see sheep? Sheep aren't in the middle of the ocean in my pit. What is going on? So yeah, it basically transported me back to the house and made a portal of its own. It literally made its own portal. Could have been worse. It could have been in the middle of the house. That would have been mental. How much carnage that would have caused. So yeah, that completely threw me, and it completely confused me, because I'm like, I don't understand. Why did it do that? You know, and I still don't understand why it basically put me back there and made its own portal to put me back there. Weird, really weird. Again, comments, please, if you've got this far through. Good on you, for starters. So anyway, so obviously that meant I now have to go back here in a new boat and clean up, which is what I did. And so again, you know, it's like, yeah, let's shut this one down. And obviously this bit's boring again, so I'm going to speed it up. And that way I don't have to bore you by making you watch this, he says, hopefully. So anyway, so again, luckily my Minecraft mentor, she's very well clued up with numbers and maths and all that kind of malarkey. So that's weird, because it would appear that I obviously didn't record where I put it. But yeah, this was what I was fearing. All right, so I basically went further afield. Okay, I went like 1,000 blocks onto one of the nearest but furthest enough away islands, and then just literally threw a portal down. And after watching I have to say, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, the dad who plays, when he's doing his Minecraft stuff, I remember when he did his first jump through the portal, that's pretty much exactly what happened to him. That's exactly what happened to him. It's hilarious. It's not hilarious. It fucking like, but it's funny. And in my head, I'm like, yeah, that's what's going to happen to me. I just know that's what's going to happen to me if and when I do actually decide to do a portal into the Nether. And there you go. I hate proving myself right. That's exactly what happened to me. On the upside, I did get a trophy for whacking the glowy, killy ball thing back at him. But that was the only bonus out of that one. It was like, we're done. We are done. So that was 2 out of 2 attempts at doing something that were spectacular in their fails, and have left me going, do you know what, I'm just going to carry on doing what I'm doing, just for a little bit, at least for a little bit longer. Yeah, no, it's not happening. So there you go. My first jump into the Nether was in the middle of a basalt thingy, and I brought back a bunch of flaming jumpy things that were trying to kill me. I then jumped back into a newish area, a different area, and basically nearly died within seconds, and only barely managed to get back out again. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's me, and that is exactly what I thought and I knew would happen if I went into the Nether. So I do hope you have enjoyed this rather different video, and half an hour of listening to me talking about this. I've never done anything like this, but I just felt like it potentially was self-explanatory, some of it, but at the same time I did feel like I just wanted to talk about it as well. I do hope you've appreciated that, and like I said, this is my first try at doing a talk, a voice over right through. Was it any good? Was I boring? I am acutely aware of all of my downsides, like yeah, and I do try, and there's another one, but I don't know. It's my first attempt at doing a proper voiceover, and I thought this video was the best one to do it in because, like I said, I felt like it needed a bit of explaining. End of this video. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for sticking around. I do hope you have stuck around all the way through. Let me know what you thought about it. Did I do okay or not? Or should I just go back to doing music and an intro and an outro and leave it at that? Without your feedback, I will not know. And, you know, whatever. So, and also, should I go back into the Nether? I don't want to. I really don't want to. And if I do, I need somebody to hold my hand, because that was not fun. That was not fun at all. And as for everything else, thank you very much for your support. Thank you very much for encouraging me to carry on. And I will be back with more content very, very soon. Love you all, and until the next one, take care.